everybody, and welcome to another installment of the Power of You live video series. Starting a little bit later today, thank you for your patience. I actually had some family stuff going on today, so we're just doing this at 7 instead of 5, but we will be back to our 5 o'clock schedule tomorrow. And so I'm very excited to delve into today's topic. And today we're going to be talking about the power of permission. So we are incredibly potent beings. And at our core, we have infinite potential. And there is so much that we don't even realize we are holding ourselves back from. So what I wanted to talk about today is what happens when we give ourselves permission to do what it is that's important to us, and a little bit of why, I see this the way that I do. So, let's see here. One of the first things that I wanted to touch on is just the fact that we, as I say all the time, are all just these perfect little puzzle pieces. And when we're being our full selves, we fit together in the world in a way that is so beautiful, because we can see very clearly what situations and people match with us well, because we're being honest with ourselves about who we are, what we need, what we don't need, and can find our place in the world so much easier. And when you give yourself the permission to be that fuller version of yourself, you can really get a clear understanding of what that place is, what it looks like. So, in our society, there is this extreme tendency to conform. There is a big emphasis in our world to make a strong point of making the people around you feel comfortable. And while on one hand that is an incredibly beautiful thing to be that considerate, on the other hand, sometimes we take it too far. And we, especially a lot of us who are female, we have a tendency to push ourselves out of the way in a lot of situations where we really should stand firmly. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the ways that we do that, and we might not even notice. So for example, let's imagine that you're at a party and everybody is just kind of standing around and talking and enjoying each other's company, just kind of chilling, but you're really feeling this song and you want so badly to go and dance, but maybe you don't because nobody else is dancing. Is this the kind of party where anybody else is even going to dance? Is this the kind of party where anybody's going to join in? And are you just going to be that weird girl dancing in the corner off by herself? Well, what I think is that in most situations, you probably should. You probably should go be that weird girl dancing in the corner. Because you know what? When I do that, when I am that weird girl dancing in the corner, everybody tells me that they don't know how I'm having so much fun when I'm the only person there not drinking. And that they wish they could be having that much fun. And it's one of the things that I like to emphasize is that when you practice standing in your sovereignty and not letting these kind of societal expectations that people don't even realize they're subconsciously being held back from, when you let those go in the moment and you just do what it is that your heart's calling you towards, you can inspire that sense of freedom, sovereignty, that reminder of our infinite power and potential in the people who are around you. And oftentimes they won't say or even fully understand that they're doing it, that they're having that switch in their mind to see, oh, it's possible to feel that comfortable and free. Or they might just be sitting there saying, oh, I wish I was that courageous that I could go do that. But you would never know because you just see someone trying to look normal at a party, so no one looks at them like they're the weird girl. And really, how many more people would be dancing if we weren't letting that hold us back? So that's kind of where I wanted to start this. And it's a really simple example that I feel like a lot of us can relate to, because we all have those situations, especially when we're at some kind of a social gathering where we are really in the mood to do something, but we're really not sure how other people are going to react to it. And we don't want to make a spectacle of ourselves. And we don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. But you know what? You don't know that it's going to make them uncomfortable. You just assume that based on years of watching everyone else be just that cautious because they don't know either. But really, if what you want to do is something that is beneficial to you and it's not doing any harm to anyone, and you just want to go and flow in your groove, flow in your groove. And so this can apply to other situations as well. Maybe you are in a situation where you're noticing that a specific person makes you feel kind of stifled when you're around them. You can't fully express yourself. Maybe you can't say the things that you want to say as naturally as you normally would because you get this feeling that, they wouldn't approve. Or maybe they've told you specifically that they don't approve of this certain part of you, or something that you're aspiring to move towards in your life. Maybe they aren't supportive of that. Maybe they don't understand why it's so right for you. And so in these situations, I like to say the same thing that I say in general about things like, setting healthy boundaries. So first of all, your life is first and foremost your own. You know yourself better than anyone in this world ever will. You know what's right for you. You know what's really not right for you. And sometimes it is hidden behind layers of these kind of pre-programmed ideas that we develop throughout our childhood and as we're getting to know who we are in the world and what we want, and we try to live a safe life. But too many of these things we hold ourselves back with. And when you are letting that be something that you're noticing, you start to just take those moments one at a time and find out whether or not it's right to be held back in that situation. So if there's a person in your life and they are having an expectation of you to, maybe your parents don't like that you want to work this very unusual, career path in your life. Maybe it's something that doesn't look stable to them. I have that situation with my own mother where she doesn't understand everything that I do, everything that I believe in. And she doesn't see the way that I live my life as being something that, she could feel secure about me and the world about until I reach a certain point. And then maybe she'll, see that I've made it, so to speak, in her eyes. But until I've been doing the same thing for 7 years and I'm freaking loaded, she's not gonna respect me in the same way. And in those situations, we have to be bold enough, I have to, the next time I speak with my mother, I have to tell her the fullness of what I'm doing, what I'm moving towards, in the same way that I do, in other areas of my life and with other things that make me more comfortable to talk with her about. But by expressing what it is in its fullness, I'm giving myself that extra boost. I'm giving myself that extra potency, that it's coming out from within me. It's coming out into the world. It's coming into the corners of my life where I was letting those thoughts hold me back. Through the expressions of the people who were doubting me, through the expressions of the societal standards and imaginary standards of perfectionism that I'd set for myself. And just like with setting a healthy boundary, people are only going to respect you. This is what I say. People are only going to respect you as much as you respect yourself, and as much as they see you respect yourself on a constant basis. So if you are the kind of person who will go for a change in your life, you'll kind of express yourself a bit more, you'll kind of go for that goal a little bit more, and then you pull it back and you're like, oh, well, maybe not in this situation, or maybe I'm not ready for that, or maybe this, maybe that. That is not what, that's not what's going to move us forward. What's going to move us forward is every single day being committed to saying, I have that power within me. I have the ability to go for what's important. I have the ability to live my life as myself fully. I have the ability to look different. I have the ability to be confident about the fact that I am walking this path. I have the ability to set boundaries. I have the authority in my life because I give myself permission to be who I need to be. And that is the basis of what I want to share with you today, is that we have the authority to give ourselves permission to be who we need to be in our lives, in this world. And no one else can do it for us. We can go and get every certification in the world. We can go and get every little document stating that you are good enough, that you have reached this level, that you have achieved this much. And until we decide inside of ourselves that we have permission, that we are good enough, that we are worthy, and that we are powerful, we're still not going to go for it full force. And that is something that is so huge, and that's something that I'm working to transform in myself more fully right now as we speak. And it's just amazing to realize how many different areas in our lives we don't give ourselves the full permission to be our fullest selves in. And, you know, we really do. We have this false impression that unless we have this, and that, or we've achieved X, Y, and Z, that we're not, capable, that we're not allowed to do what we're here to do. Well, you know what? You can have that achievement, and you can have those qualities and skills. You can develop those in yourself as you go, but until you recognize that you're a person who is capable of that, that you're a person who has the ability to make those changes in yourself and evolve, then you're not going to do it. You've got to decide to do it. You've got to give yourself permission. Write yourself a goddamn permission slip if you need to. And, it really is going to give other people the permission to give themselves that same acknowledgement in their lives by seeing you living that truth. Have you ever noticed that when you've been around someone who's really confident, you have a tendency to want that more for yourself? Or when you're around someone who's just really loving and generous and beautiful-souled and inspiring, you want to develop that in yourself? Well, you can have that effect on other people. And all you have to do is just give yourself permission to be exactly what you are, however that comes out naturally, and develop it as it moves, and know that you are powerful, that you are worthy, and that you can do anything in your life. And so, I really wanted to make sure to share all of that with you today. And I'm just taking a look to see if there's anything else that I wanted to touch on this. And, the main thing is just that, you will shatter societal expectations by being unexpected or even absurd, and that you really are a powerhouse, and that sovereignty is your birthright in this world. And no matter what it is that you're here to do, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And I just really wanted to share that because it's so important and it makes such a difference. And so that's my message for you today. And I hope you tune in tomorrow for our Power of You live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my name is Jennifer from Aquarian Goddess, and I hope that you have a beautiful and inspired day. Now, go do something you were scared to do before.